Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am Imtiaz Hussain, SS English in Divisional Public School and College Sahiwal. Let's start today's lesson.
Dear students, our today's lesson is Adventures of Isabel. It is a poem by Ogden Nash. This poem is about a little girl, Isabel. This poem is very encouraging for kids and for grown up people also. So today we'll read about this poem. First of all, I'll discuss with you about the objectives of the poem. After watching the lesson, you will be able to explain the poem in your own words. Use words into your meaningful sentences, form adjectives and antonyms, write summary in your own words. So these are our today's objectives. I hope you will meet all these objectives at the end of this lesson. Dear students, we watch the movie with this rhyming of the poem. Listen it please.
Isabel met an enormous bear. Isabel didn't care. The bear was hungry, the bear was ravenous, the bear's big mouth was cruel and cavernous. The bear said, "Isabel, glad to meet you. How do, Isabel? Now I'll eat you." Isabel didn't worry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She washed her hands and she straightened her hair up. Then Isabel quietly ate the bear up. Isabel met a hideous giant. Isabel continued self-reliant. The giant was hairy, the giant was horrid. He had one eye in the middle of his forehead. "Good morning, Isabel," the giant said. "I'll grind your bones to make my bread." Isabel didn't worry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She nibbled the zwieback that she always fed off, and when it was gone, she cut the giant's head off. Once in a night as black as pitch, Isabel met a wicked old witch. The witch's face was cross and wrinkled. The witch's gums with teeth were sprinkled. "Ho, ho, Isabel," the old witch crowed. "I'll turn you into an ugly toad." Isabel didn't worry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She showed no rage and she showed no rancor, but she turned the witch into milk and drank her. Isabel met a troublesome doctor. He punched and he poked till he really shocked her. The doctor's talk was of coughs and chills, and the doctor's satchel bulged with pills. The doctor said unto Isabel, "Swallow this, it will make you well." Isabel didn't worry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She took those pills from the pill concoctor, and Isabel calmly cured the doctor.
I hope you enjoyed this movie. After watching the movie, I want to discuss word meanings with you people. I selected those words which are not available on the Word to Know at your book at page number 2. So these words are somewhat else from the poem. Rest of the words are on your books. You can consult for the meanings from book as well. Wicked, sinful, unholy, straightened, made straight, wrinkled, full of wrinkles, aged, toward a small animal like frog, horrid, unkind, bulged full of, calmly, peacefully. Dear students, this is first stanza of the poem Adventures of Isabel. Isabel met an enormous bear. Isabel didn't care. The bear was hungry, the bear was ravenous, the bear's big mouth was cruel and cavernous. The big bear said, Isabel, glad to meet you. How do, Isabel, now I'll eat you. Isabel didn't worry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She washed her hands and she straightened her hair up. Then Isabel quietly ate the bear up. In this poem, of the first stanza of the poem, writer tells us about the first adventure of the Isabel. This poem is about the adventurous situations of the little girl Isabel. In this very first stanza of the poem, she met an enormous bear. As we can observe in the very first line or first verse of the poem, Isabel met an enormous bear. Enormous, very huge, very large. But Isabel didn't care. So this quality is very much lovable for the poet, and it is very much encourageable for the kids and for the readers. Dear students, we are observing that enormous bear met Isabel, but Isabel didn't care about that bear or about that creature. The bear was hungry, the bear was ravenous, and the bear was hungry. Ravenous means very hungry, so it double hunger shows. It means the bear was very much hungry. At this position, Isabel still didn't care. The bear's big mouth was cruel and cavernous, and his big mouth was cruel. It means the bear was cruel and his mouth was like a cave. It means a very huge mouth. The bear said, Isabel, glad to meet you. Bear said, Isabel, glad to meet you. Why? Because bear wants to eat Isabel. How do, Isabel? Now I'll eat you. Isabel didn't worry. Isabel still calm and quiet, and she was very much pleasant or very unworried situations. So that's why she didn't care. Poet uses that she didn't worry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. Isabel didn't speak loudly or didn't scream loudly or in a scurry situation. She washed her hands, she straightened her hair up. Rather, she washed her hands very confidently and she straightened her hair boldly. So all these steps, meeting of bear with Isabel and Isabel's activities are totally symbolical. So these situations are very much difficult in our society for women or for the kids. So we can handle all these problems and all these situations wisely and bravely if we are enough dare or enough brave in our life. Then Isabel quietly ate the bear up. So this situation is also the last verse or last line of the stanza is showing that Isabel ate the bear up. So it is impossible for human being to eat the bear up, but this line shows that this adventurous situation is very much difficult for the little kid, little Isabel, and she is worried and she didn't care about all this situation. She handles all this situation wisely and she ate the bear up. It means she overcomes the difficulty with her bravery. So in a way, we all people, you all people, and you all dear students can overcome your difficulties, problems, miseries, sorrows in your life very boldly. This is first stanza of the poem. And next situation, the explanation of the poem, the first stanza. This is a brief summary of the first stanza. You can read as well from this slide. I can read for you people for your better understanding. Isabel met an enormous bear, but she didn't care. The bear was hungry and very cruel. Its mouth was so big. The bear said to Isabel to eat her, but she didn't scream or scurry. She washed her hands and ate the bear very confidently. This is second stanza of the poem. Once in a night as black as pitch. This is very first line of the second stanza. So in once upon a time, Isabel met a second creature of the poem, that is an old witch. So she met an old witch in a night. That night was very dark, as black as pitch. It means utter darkness was at that night. So Isabel met a wicked old witch. The witch's face was cross and wrinkled. Witch's face was cross and wrinkled. There are many wrinkles on the face of witch, and it was crossed in zigzag way. It means her face was not pleasant, because it was an horrible witch or creature. That's why her face was wrinkled and horrible. The witch's gums with teeth were sprinkled. Ho ho, Isabel, the old witch crowed, I'll turn you into an ugly toad. The witch's gums, the teeth of the witch, are very much spread from its gums due to its old age or due to its horrid situations. And the old witch, told Isabel, I'll turn you into an old toad, an ugly toad. So old witch wants to turn Isabel into an ugly toad. After that, Isabel didn't worry. So dear students, in the second stanza you can observe, after meeting with a creature that is full of horror and fear, Isabel, it is a character which shows bravery, courage for children, and she didn't worry, she didn't scurry, and Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She showed no rage and she showed no rancor. And she showed no rage, it means still she was calm and peaceful, and she showed no any horror situation before the witch. But she turned the witch into milk and drank her. After all, at the end of the second stanza, Isabel turned the witch into milk and drank her. So this was the second situation, the second difficult situation in the poem. In the second stanza, Isabel met this situation very successfully. She overcame this difficulty with her boldness, with her confidence. So this confidence shows that in modern world all women should be confident, and we people and you dear students at this age, you should also be confident and be brave to face difficult situations in life. So it is not difficult for human being to do the miracles, just it needs hope, effort, struggle, and if a person does all these struggle and efforts, he can achieve laurels in her life, in a life. So likewise Isabel. This explanation of the poem in stanza 2. So this is brief summary of explanation for you people to help out. Once in a dark night, Isabel met a wicked witch. The witch's face was cross and wrinkled. The witch said to Isabel to turn her into an ugly toad, but Isabel didn't worry. She didn't show any rage and turned the witch into milk and drank her. Let's go toward third stanza of the poem. Isabel met a hideous giant. Isabel continued self-reliant. So in the first verse of the poem of the third stanza, you dear students observe that Isabel met a hideous giant. So Isabel met a hideous giant in the third stanza of the poem. So very clearly it shows that there are difficult situations in the poem comes one by one for the little girl, and here is a giant that is hideous, very ugly giant. Isabel continued self-reliant. It means the second line of the third stanza shows that Isabel still very confident and she remained steadfast and she believes herself. The giant was hairy, the giant was horrid, the giant was very horrid, horrified, or very scary, and giant was hairy. The hair of the giant was long. He had one eye in the middle of his forehead, so he had one eye in its center part of the forehead. So this situation and this picture shows that a giant was so horrified and so dangerous. He had one eye in the middle of his forehead. Good morning, Isabel, the giant said. Giant said to Isabel, good morning, and then next line shows, I'll grind your bones to make my bread. Isabel was in a difficult situation again when giant says that he'll grind her bones to make his bread. Isabel didn't worry, and this line shows that Isabel is a bold girl and she didn't scream or scurry and she didn't worry about this situation. She nibbled the zwieback that she always fed off, and she nibbled the crisp or toasted bread. She nibbled the toast that she always fed off, and when it was gone, she cut the giant's head off, and when it was finished, the little girl Isabel cut the giant's head off. So in this third stanza of the poem, dear students, we can easily observe that the situation is very much difficult for a little girl, but her confidence, her self-reliance, and her peaceful mind, all these help her to handle the situation, to meet this difficult situation in her life. So life is not a bed of roses. Difficulties come in our life, and we should meet all these problems, difficulties, sorrows, miseries with boldness, with courage, with confidence. So if it is, then we can overcome all the problems in the society, in the world. Either we are woman or man. So it doesn't problem about the gender, but the solution especially is confidence, courage, and self-reliant. If these qualities are with you, these are your arms and we can fight every battle in the world, and we can win all these wars in society against problems, difficulties, misery, sorrows, and all the pathetic situations in the life, like Isabel. So this short explanation, I summarize for you people to understand it better. Isabel next time met a hideous giant. The giant was hairy and horrid. The giant said to Isabel to grind her bones to make his bread. Isabel didn't worry. She nibbled the crisp bread and cut the giant's head off. Now this is the next stanza of the poem. Isabel met a troublesome doctor, and this is the last character of the poem. A troublesome doctor. Isabel met a troublesome doctor. Isabel's last meeting is with a doctor who is actually a troublesome. He punched and he poked till he really shocked her. He punched and he poked. Doctor punched Isabel till he really shocked her, and ultimately Isabel was very much shocked after receiving punch from a doctor. The doctor's talk was of coughs and chills, and the doctor's satchel buzzed with pills. Doctor's talk, we know his profession, a doctor's profession is about medicine and about cure the patient. So obviously he talks all the time about cough, chills, and different other diseases. And the doctor's satchel bulged with the pills. Satchel mean bag and bulge mean full of. And doctor's bag was full of pills, full of medicines. The doctor said unto Isabel, swallow this, it will make you well. Swallow mean eat. The doctor advised Isabel to eat medicine or to take the medicines. It will make her well. So this is the advice of the doctor, but actually the situation is somewhat else, or rather doctor cures Isabel. Isabel in fact cured the doctor at the end of this stanza. Isabel didn't worry. Still Isabel didn't worry about this situation. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She took those pills from the pill concoctor. Pill concoctor, pill maker. Concoctor means maker. She took those pills from pill maker, a person who makes the medicine, who makes pills, and Isabel calmly cured the doctor. And Isabel calmly cured the doctor. So the result is very much different in all these situations, as we have discussed earlier in different stanzas. So Isabel met different difficult situations in life, but she overcame all these difficult situations calmly, peacefully, bravely. So this is the message of the poem. Even if we enhance this message or this theme of the poem on the whole globe, we can say that women's emancipation is also a theme of the poem, that women should be very much brave in society. They can do whatever they want confidently, bravely, wisely, like Isabel. So this is short summary of explanation. Stanza 4. Isabel met a troublesome doctor. He punched her and she was really shocked. Doctor's talk was about cough and chills, and his bag was filled with pills. The doctor said to Isabel to take medicine and it would make her well. Isabel didn't worry. She took those pills from pill maker, and Isabel cured the doctor. Dear students, next slide is about formation of adjectives. As you know that in our class 6, there in examination point of view, there were formation of noun, but here are formation of adjectives in 7th class from noun. So I selected some words from the poem, 6 words. So there are lot of nouns in the poem. You can do as yourself and make those nouns adjective with the help of dictionary. Hands, handy, hair, hairy, night, nightly, witch, witchy, face, facial, rage, raged. So these words, and dear students, please observe the first word, noun, hands, handy. So the rule, we can generate our rule that if we add y at the end of noun, it become a noun. It means we can say some nouns can become adjectives by adding at the end of the noun y. Likewise, hair, hairy, witch, witchy. So 3 words are becoming adjectives with this rule, and this rule we made ourselves right now. Likewise, when you will work on different other nouns and adjectives, you can derive rules with this. As this examples, night, nightly, we can generate second rule that some nouns can become adjectives by adding ly at the end of noun. So rage and face. So these are, first of all, face. By if we add ial at the end of some nouns, those nouns can become adjectives. This is our third rule. So we can become fourth rule as well. For example, we can make adjectives from noun by adding just d or ed at the end of nouns, like rage, raged. So these are formation of adjectives. Dear students, practice it at your homes with the help of dictionaries or with your parents. Our next slide is about words antonyms. Word antonyms, you know, in 6th class you learned word synonyms, and now in class 7 you will learn words antonyms, and words will be adjectives, and from adjectives you will have to convert antonyms. Antonyms are those words which are opposite in meanings from the actual word. So first word is hungry, and its antonym is thirsty. Sprinkled, fused. Enormous, small. Hideous, pleasant. Cavernous, narrow. Horrid, kind. Ugly, beautiful. Troublesome, manageable. So these some words, I select some words from the poem. So these are not all the words. There are some other words are also adjectives in a form of adjectives available in the poem. You can find antonyms of all those other adjectives at your home with the assistance of your parents or with the help of your dictionaries. And our next activity is word sentences. Dear students, in our examination point of view, or in your monthly or semester exam, there are some words from the passage which you will have to convert into your own meaningful sentences. So this is very much important sentence. You will have to convert your own meaningful sentences. If you select a same sentence as from the passage, so it will be not awarded. So it is against the policy and it is against the examination concept of point of view. So be careful. Ravenous mean very hungry, and sentence is what's for lunch? I'm absolutely ravenous. Second word is concoctor. Concoctor made soup tasty, and I told you already that concoctor means maker. Bulged, full of, her pockets were bulged with presents. Nibbled, she took some cake from the tray and nibbled it. Cured, TB is a serious illness, but it can be cured. So these are 5 word sentences. You can select other words as well and make all these words into your own meaningful sentences. And our next activity is summary writing. Dear students, in your semester exam, there comes a summary, and these are different main points. How to write a summary? First of all, read the poem carefully, and secondly, significance of the title of the poem. So what is the importance of the title of the poem? You will have to write about the title's importance in a one line. And next one is name of the poet. What's the name of the poet? And fourth one, write main ideas in complete sentences. So in a summary, we will have to write all the ideas in a sequence wise. As in this poem, we observe that Isabel met different creatures. First of all, she met a bear, then a witch, then a giant, and at the end of the poem, she met a troublesome doctor. So our sequence and our order should be in a way, in a summary. Put the sentences in order. So we should put all these sentences in order, exclude unnecessary detail, and in a summary we should be precised and summarized. So we will have to exclude unnecessary details from the summary. Use appropriate tense. Write Isabel activities in order. Write any moral lesson if any. At the end of the summary writing, we will have to write a sentence about the moral activity, about the moral lesson, if any, in the summary. With the help of all these points, you will have to compose summary by yourself, which I gave you as a home task at the end of the lesson. So I recapitulate the lesson. Dear students, first of all, we learned about the theme of the poem. As I've told you already, that theme of the poem is about adventurous situation of a little girl, Isabel, or we can say that women emancipation, or we can overcome our fears, troubles, sorrows, miseries with help of self-confidence, self-reliant, courage, bravery, wisdom, with the help of these all things which Isabel uses in a poem. And second, we learn different formation of adjectives and antonyms and their rules. And fourth one, we learned about word sentences, and we also learned that we shouldn't select sentence from the passage of the paper. So we should generate our sentence if we want marks, or if we want it accurate, because it is against the policy to select a sentence as it is from the passage. And at the end of the lesson, we learned how to write a summary. So you will compose summary at your own by at the end of the lesson as a home task. So dear students, this is your home task. Compose summary about main ideas. Use these words into your own sentences: quietly, rancor, satchel, continued, calmly. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Stay home. Stay safe.